Michael J. Fox's sentence is final, goodbye forever, before seeing how he lives now. There are moments when a Hollywood story stops being about fame, money, or success. It becomes about something much more human. What happens when the person everyone knows suddenly has to face a future he never expected? Michael J. Fox knows that feeling better than most. For millions, he was the energetic teenager from Back to the Future, the young star who seemed almost impossible to slow down. But behind that unstoppable smile was a battle that would eventually change nearly every part of his life. Michael Andrew Fox was born on June 9, 1961, in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. He was not born into Hollywood royalty. His father, William Fox, worked in the Canadian Armed Forces and later became a police officer, while his mother, Phyllis, was an actress and payroll clerk. The family moved several times during Michael's childhood, and those experiences helped shape a young man who learned how to adapt. He was small in stature, but his personality was anything but small. Michael had timing, charm, and an unusual ability to make people laugh without appearing to try too hard. That quality eventually carried him from Canadian television to Hollywood, where he became one of the most recognizable young actors of his generation. Then came Marty McFly. Back to the Future transformed Michael J. Fox into an international superstar. Suddenly, his face was everywhere. He had television success with Family Ties, major movie roles, awards, money, and the kind of career most actors could only dream about. From the outside, it looked like everything had gone right. But life was already preparing a completely different chapter. In 1991, when Michael was only 29 years old, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Imagine being at the height of your career and being told that your body may slowly stop cooperating with you. Michael initially kept the diagnosis private. He continued working, continued acting, and continued trying to understand what his future would look like. For years, he carried something enormous behind the scenes. Eventually, he decided that hiding was no longer the answer. In 1998, Michael publicly revealed his diagnosis. That decision changed more than his own story. It gave millions of people living with Parkinson's something they rarely receive from celebrities, someone willing to speak honestly about the fear, uncertainty, and daily reality of the disease. But his journey has never been a simple story of tragedy. Michael continued acting. He returned to television. He appeared in movies. He raised his family with his wife, Tracy Pollan, whom he married in 1988. And perhaps most importantly, he began turning his personal struggle into a reason to help others. In 2000, he established the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. Instead of allowing the diagnosis to become the final chapter of his life, he helped create an organization dedicated to finding better treatments and ultimately a cure. That may be the most important part of Michael's story, because people often misunderstand what strength looks like. Strength does not always mean defeating the thing that hurts you. Sometimes strength means accepting that something has changed and deciding that it will not determine the meaning of your life. Michael has spoken openly about difficult days, physical challenges, and the uncertainty that comes with Parkinson's. He has also continued to find humor in situations that could easily have broken his spirit. That combination of honesty and humor is part of what makes his story so powerful. And today, when people search for Michael J. Fox and see dramatic headlines suggesting a final goodbye, it is important to understand what those words really represent. His life is not simply a story about an actor whose career was interrupted. It is a story about a man who reached the highest levels of fame, received devastating news while still young, and somehow turned that pain into purpose. The Michael J. Fox we see today is different from the teenager who jumped into the DeLorean and traveled through time. His body has changed. His career has changed. His priorities have changed. But perhaps that is the lesson. We spend so much of our lives trying to hold on to who we used to be. Michael's story suggests something different. Maybe growing older is not about staying exactly the same. Maybe it is about discovering who you can become after life takes something away. The final chapter of Michael J. Fox's story has not been written. And perhaps that is why his journey continues to matter. Because sometimes goodbye is not the end. Sometimes It is simply the moment when one version of a person disappears and another, stronger version begins.